If for some reason your girl decides to leave you and ends up sucking some other guy's dick, I don't really see the point in trying to get her back, you know?
You're not wearing your ring.
I sold it.
But if there was ever a right way to do it, robbing her new man for all his money and Jedi mind tricking him into breaking up with her while she watches might just be the best way to go about it. Ocean's 11 is a really good heist movie about a man that assembled a team of highly skilled thieves to rob the biggest casinos in Las Vegas just so he can get his ex-wife back.
I don't have a husband, or didn't you get the papers?
My last day inside.
I told you I'd write.
Wait, that's my husband.
Right.
I'm not a fan of the whole trying to get your girl back campaign because I believe that your job is to be the best possible boyfriend you can be and position yourself as superior to all the other options out there. You do all the right things required to keep her attracted to you, keep her excited to be around you, and most importantly, you have to spend every day of your life trying to make sure your girl is as happy as she can be. That's your entire job description as a boyfriend, or in Danny Ocean's case, a husband. That's the name of our protagonist, by the way. You know, in case I didn't mention that. So, if after you do all that, she still leaves you and decides to go be with someone else, there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. That's entirely her prerogative. And seeing as how there's never been a shortage of women in the world, all you can do is let her go and eventually get yourself a new girl. There's no point in trying to get her back because you can't force or convince people to be with you. They either want to be around you or they don't. It's as simple as that. Or do you really want to be with somebody that you have to beg and coerce into staying with you, spending your days knowing fully well that she's only with you out of pity and not because she's utterly incapable of being away from you?
Not a great plan.
So, in my weird ass opinion, trying to get your girl back in any capacity is ultimately always going to be a waste of time. But I do have to admit, it seems like Danny Ocean figured out the coolest way to do it. The premise of the movie is that Danny and Tess used to be married, but Danny went to prison for a bit and Tess divorced him while he was in Islam. She eventually started dating Terry, the guy who owns all the casinos they are going to rob later on in the movie, and Danny doesn't particularly like Terry. I mean, regardless of the fact that he's currently fucking his wife, of course. So, the whole movie is essentially about Danny trying to get Tess back from Terry. At the end of the movie, after Danny has successfully pulled off the heist, Terry isn't sure if he was involved or not because he did his job so well, but he tells him that he can get his money back if he breaks up with Tess. Obviously, he says yes and ends up losing her because she was watching a live feed of their conversation. So, good for Danny on getting his girl back and all that. But what I would like to focus on is the ultimatum that was presented before Terry. Break up with your girl or lose all your money. Now, there's definitely a right and a wrong answer here, but the type of girl you're with is ultimately what's going to determine which is which. If you're with a girl you don't see yourself spending the rest of your life with for whatever reason, maybe she was just a friend with benefits that escalated to a situationship and eventually, over time, worked her way into being your girlfriend, or she's just not the type of girl you would like to have children with. Whatever the reason may be, if you have no plans of dying with this girl, then of course get your money back, nigga. If the relationship was eventually going to end, you might as well do it now. And it's even a 2-for-1 deal because you get to keep your money and she gets the freedom to find someone who will actually take her seriously. It's a win-win, my nigga. So all that being said, giving up the money in this situation would definitely be the wrong thing to do. But if that's your wifey, like, you know for a fact that this woman is going to be the mother of your kids and you have every intention of waking up next to her every day for the rest of your life, yeah, you gotta let that money go, bro. You can't let go of a good woman once you've got one. The Bible says that he who has found a wife has found a good thing. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe that God would write that shit down if there wasn't any validity to it. Plus, I feel like grown men usually get to a certain level of competence in their life to the point where their value no longer lies in how much money they have, but in their innate ability to essentially rapidly print money on command. If for some reason you somehow manage to lose all the money you have, you should be skilled, knowledgeable, wise, and experienced enough to just lock in for a few months and get that money back 2 times over. But if you want to look at things from a strictly pragmatic point of view, both the money and the girl are replaceable in the sense that you could also just get another girl from the abundance of women out there and end up keeping all your money. But the truth is, there's no amount of money that can ever buy the connections you share with certain people in your life. So, it's usually always the best option to hold on to those you really care about. Plus, if another man was able to steal your girl from you with such a manipulative methodology, you're actually his bitch till the day you die because he quite literally held you by the balls, took the 2 things you cherished most dearly and made you pick between them. I don't know about you guys, but I have a little bit more respect for the guy that loses all his money, stays with his wifey, and ends up making more than double the amount he lost in a matter of months. But hey, that's just me. Subscribe to Patreon for Weird Thoughts, my weekly Patreon exclusive member control podcast where I answer questions submitted by tier 3 members, review movies submitted by tier 2 members, and react to Reddit stories and text messages submitted by tier 1 members. Yes, in that order. Well, this was fun. Subscribe to the Patreon, link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next motherfucking analysis. Whoo! That was good. That was good. Whoo!